What's going on? Jake here with Uncommon EDC. Today we're taking a look at the CJRB Kain. This is a Sanford Owen design, and you can pick up the plain Jane version of this for $53.95. Looks identical to this, just without the engraving, and so it'll look like this back scale here. I'll link to where you can find that down in the description of the video. Now this version started out as that base model, that $53.95 model, but the designer Sanford Owen took 10 of these back to his shop and laser engraved different designs on them. So there's 10 in the series, but each one's actually unique, which I thought was pretty cool. He designed these for Blade Show West, I believe. Some of them sold there. The remainder got taken over to CCKS, where I picked mine up for $85. Really great price point for what's essentially a one-off custom. Yes, it's machine laser, not hand engraved. Yes, it's the same base materials, nothing super exciting as far as customs go, but you get a unique knife at $85, only $31 more than the base model, which I thought was pretty cool. Now the design I chose, I don't even know what exactly it is, I just thought it looked really cool. So we have this figure here that looks like it could be maybe Japanese inspired, maybe Indian inspired, I'm not 100% sure. It looks a little bit more Japanese than Indian to me, but could really go either way. If you know what that figure is, let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to learn more about it. Now some of the others were a lot more recognizable to me. Stuff like a stack of skulls felt very American. You have the tiger or a dragon ones, which were really cool. But for whatever reason, this one just resonated with me, so that's what I ended up going with. I did take shorts of all of the ones that they had at the show. Most of them are already up on the channel. I think I still have one or two more in my camera roll and will eventually go up. So if you are curious what some of those other designs look like, just search the channel for CJRB Kain and those shorts should come up. I think a long time ago I actually did a plain Jane version, or the base model, as a short as well, so that may pop up there as well. But otherwise, since this one did start out as a base model, it's going to be completely identical to that knife, and so everything about it, all the specs and stuff that I list are going to be exactly the same for the ones that you're going to order online. Only difference again is not going to have that laser engraving, although you could always laser engrave your own design on there if you chose to do so. So the knife itself, 6.89 inches in overall length, pretty mid-sized knife. Feels a little bit smaller than it is just because it's so slim. So you got that slim pokey design at the tip, nice slim handles, which I know some people really prefer, and it just feels a little bit smaller than it is, but it's pretty much a full-size EDC knife. 3.94 inches in the handles, which these are aluminum handles, and if you use this finger groove that gives us access to the liner lock, you sit pretty far back. If I get really tight grip, I can get 3.5 fingers on there. A lot of the times though, my pinky's hanging off the back. There is this flat underneath the pivot though, thankfully, where you can kind of creep up, and I always like to do that when I have the opportunity. You can see it's slightly angled too, so when you pinch on that, I like to pull back, and it really locks your thumb into place, really locks that grip into place so you're not slipping and sliding around. There's no jimping on the spine, so those ergos work out just perfectly. Now, as far as the general ergos on this knife go, I would say they're average. They're nothing to write home about. They're not one I would describe as fitting my hand like a glove or anything like that, but there's also nothing making it really uncomfortable. I'm aware of the pocket clip, and that's pretty hard to hide on such a slim handle design. A lot of times with these slimmer handles, you're gonna feel that pocket clip a little bit behind your knuckles. It's just kind of inevitable when it's this thin of a handle. It makes it really difficult to hide. It also sticks out pretty far. But again, even that's not uncomfortable. I'm just aware of it. And so the ergos on here are solid, just nothing, not really above average either. And so pretty good handles on here, extremely lightweight with that aluminum. This only weighs 2.13 ounces, which is extremely light for its sizing at nearly a 7-inch long knife. The pocket clip on here is reversible, so we have a tip up deep carry pocket clip, right or left hand friendly, and so that's a really nice touch as well. Obviously on these ones with the custom designs, you're going to hide that artwork if you swap it around, but most of them have the plain Jane skills, and so it doesn't matter if it's left or right hand set up there. We do have the liner lock with plenty of access, no jimping on it either, which I'm a huge fan of. I really don't like jimping on liner frame locks. I think it just chews up the tip of my thumb a lot, and it's just a lot smoother. As long as you have access, really easy to actuate. It's not like I'm slipping off of there anyway. You'll see it's on bearing, so it just drops straight to the nail. Once I move it out of the way, give it a little shake, it will close up very consistently. Really nice smooth action, really snappy too. Snappy action out of those thumb studs, really nice. You got to figure out the angle on these, but I think the thumb stud is positioned perfectly. You have plenty of access to it, and it kind of encourages you to push it upwards, which is the angle you need. If you push it straight out, that's the only time I've ever failed this, but if you push it up, it gets that nice snappy action. And then the thumb stud is just kind of lined up with our sharpening choil, so it stays out of the cutting path for the most part. It could have gone a little bit further back, but it's really not a problem at where it's at, so I think that's perfectly positioned there. Now moving on to our blade, we're looking at 2.95 inches on that drop point style blade, flat grind on here. Again, pretty slim, so you got that pokey design to it, but also a nice slicer on here. We're looking at AR-RPM9, which is their in-house steel. On a $54 knife, I think really great steel for the price point. Obviously this one is $85. I think still perfectly fine for that, especially when most of what you're paying there for is the design more than any upgrades or anything, since it's just a base model. But 2.95 inches there, under that 3-inch threshold. Really good sizing on this one. I like it a lot. The weight's perfect. Again, 2.13 inches for a 2.95 inch blade, and a knife that's nearly 7 inches long is excellent. Feels really solid in the hands. Like I said, not amazing ergos, but really nothing wrong with them either. And so I think they'll work pretty well for a lot of hands. Now, if you do have larger hands and you don't like to get up in line with that pivot, you feel like you're a little bit too close to the edge without any sort of ricotta, it is going to be shorter and you're going to end up with a 3-finger grip like I do most of the time, with my pinky completely hanging off the back. No lanyard hole, but the design of this pocket clip does allow you to put a lanyard through the pocket clip if you chose to do so. So that's one way maybe you could extend that grip a little bit if you wanted to stay a little bit further back. But again, I find nothing wrong with this. In fact, I find the ergos better when you're up in line with that pivot on this knife. Let me know what you think of this one though down in the comments below. As usual, if you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, subscribing, checking out some of my other content. All helps the channel out a ton, and I hope you have a great one. Take care.